Today I wanted to do a quick update on my planner and the notebooks that I've been using for around 2 weeks now. I'll be starting with the weeks and then move forward to the rest of the notebooks. So last week was a little bit crazy, but I really love the setup. I am using here the Coffee Monster's Call, which I really love. It really provides a structure. It really helped me to not think about the layout and just go in and write my to-do list and write some extra notes. And I had some leftover stickers and I was able to set up this spread as well, which ironically, even though this one has a lot more stickers in it, I prefer this one. I think I put like way too much here and I think it's a little bit too much. I don't think I would be doing this again, but this one I really like. It's very minimal, it's super cute, very simple. I think I would prefer this one. And this one was a little bit overwhelming because once you put the text in as well, it becomes this jumble of things, and I thought it was a little bit too much. Although I do appreciate the structure and the doodles are adorable, I think I would go less heavy for the rest of the days. Also appreciate that there was extras that I could use on other spreads, which is wonderful. And I also added these numbers, which I think are really cute, and they make the monthly spread just so much more interesting. It makes me want to use it more, so that is really great. This week, it was my first week after vacation, so it was a little bit crazy. I was not able to plan my days the way that I wanted to. I was sort of still adjusting from being on vacation, and I just needed this adjustment week until I can get back to my normal schedule. This week I want to focus more on productivity, and I want to increase my tasks for the daily routine, which will include more illustration, more drawing, more spreads in my notebooks that I'll be showing in a bit. Because I've been working in this new project, I really want to dive in and be able to be more productive with it. So I really have high hopes for this week. I'm really hoping that I can create a realistic but very productive schedule for this week. And if this one works well, I'm hoping to continue that throughout the year, hopefully, if I manage. The to-do list here did not really work for me the way that I wanted it. So basically, I would keep a general to-do list that I would put anything that came to mind, but I failed to separate the tasks, so it just became a jumble that I can't really use. And this system has worked better for me, so I have 2 extra notebooks that are for different projects, and these are the 2 main projects that I'm doing right now. I might be adding one more for the 3rd project that I started, but this I believe works much better because it's targeted to this specific project. So when I open this one, I expect to see to-do lists that have to do with this specific project instead of random things that don't really make sense. And this one also another project that I'm doing right now. So when I open this, I expect to see this type of to-dos. So that was very important to me to separate those lists, and I think it's been working really well so far. I will still keep the general to-do list, but it will be just for general things, not for specific projects. So whenever I have something to add to a very specific project, I prefer to do it in their own little separate notebook. So I think that so far this has worked best for me. This is really an experimentation period for me because this is the first time I'm doing planning. This is the first time I'm doing this extensive form of planning. I always had some form of a to-do list and perhaps like a monthly schedule, but I've never had such a specific weekly routine and daily routine. So this is all just a big experiment, so I can see what actually works, and I can finally stop experimenting because I need a system that will just work and that I don't have to think about it anymore. I can just come in, I would know exactly which piece of information goes where, so I don't have to look for it. I will know exactly where it is, and I won't be losing information because I've been using Google Keep for a long time, and it's just a jumble. It's just a bunch of notes, unsorted, does not make sense. Most of those things are just lost, and I really lost important information in there that sort of expired because it was lost in the crowd. And that really sort of motivated me to start something more effective like this system. So I'm really hoping that through my experimentation, trying new things, I can find a system that actually works. So far, this section with the extra notes has worked for me more for things that are stable, so I can go back and take a look. So like a schedule or some daily routines, so things that don't really change. I will continue doing a to-do list, like a general to-do list, that I then transfer to my weekly schedule. That's what I usually do. So let's say today is Saturday, I would go back to my to-do lists and check everything and see, okay, what can I do out of all these projects and out of all these items in my list, and just transfer those to the specific day. And that's what I'll be doing for this week as well. I'll just take a look at all of my notes as well as my journal notes, because that's how I start my day. So I start by writing a list of things that I want to do that day, and then I transfer them to my weekly schedule. This system so far is working well. I will keep doing experiments and see what works best, but for now this is quite functional, so I will not be changing anything. So that is it for the week so far. I'm very happy with it, and it works really well as a planner so far. Now a quick update on my journal. I don't remember where I left it off last time. I'll probably add a video here showing the whole spread. Basically, I've kept the same layout for every day. It's really functional. It really takes away all of the decisions that I have to make every morning because it's a standard layout. It just really helps me to go in, draw the same layout every day, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to make decisions other than the colors that I'll be using that day, which again are very specific color combinations that I've been using. So not many decisions again. And the only thing I do is basically the small doodle at the end of the page. And that is sort of a more creative decision. So it's not really a problem to do that every day. It's part of the creative process and it's really fun to do. So I don't mind it. Lately, I've decided that I want my illustration style and drawing style to shift towards more specific interests that I have, which are connected to my newest project that I will be showing in a bit, which is more of a fantasy style, more of a dark academia, more of a magical style, and just anything that has to do with fantasy, magic, mysteries, and adventure. So I will be keeping my characters that I've created, the cat, the bear, and the frog. I will be keeping those, but I want them to be more of in a context of fantasy and magical adventures and mysteries. So I will be going towards a comic book vibe, perhaps comic strip, so something like that, something along those lines, because I'm trying to combine all of my interests together. I will not be abandoning the cute style because I love that and I think it goes really well in my journal. but I want to go more towards my interests and what I really enjoy seeing every day. I think it just makes my journal much more interesting to look at. So I have explored that a little bit with some of my spreads. For example, this one where the bear is sort of an explorer and has this little backpack and the journal, which I think is really cute. I think this is one of my favorites. It gives him more of a character instead of just a generic cute doodle. That's what I'm trying to change here, because usually the bear is either having snacks or gardening or something like that, which again are concepts that I love. Gardening, healthy eating, and all of that. Those were things that I wanted to remind myself about. That's why I was drawing those specific concepts. But now I just want to move more towards this style. I could always come back to a different style or this one. For now, I think I will be exploring this specific style. I also tried it here, which is like an open journal. I think it just gives so much more character, and it feels like there is a story behind this one instead of just generic doodles. Also this one with like a cute map. I'm still maintaining that cute look with smooth lines, but I just want to give it a bit of a storytelling vibe, and I really want to dive deeper into that and create more items that have to do with fantasy and magic and all of that. So I'm really excited to see what I'll be creating in the future, and hopefully it will make my journal a little bit more interesting and prettier to look at, I guess. This is important to me because it keeps me coming back, and because journaling is so important to me, to my daily routine, the way that I process my thoughts. I want to keep it interesting for me to be able to come back to it and be excited every day to fill it in. So that's why I'm doing all of this. That's why I care so much, I guess. So I'm really excited to see what other things I can come up with and how it's gonna look in the future. So yeah, that is it for my daily journal. I'll be doing this one now because it's very short. I haven't worked on this as much as I wanted to. So this one, I wanted it to be a Poem and Place notebook, and I created a key with the different categories that I want to write here. Long story short, I want this to be a replacement for Google Keep. So any kind of note that I left there that was important for me and I wanted to keep it, I want to transfer here. Didn't really have the chance to do that this week. Was very busy. I was working on the new project, so I'll be doing that this week hopefully. And besides like important notes that I wanted to keep here, I also have some random things like recipes, my favorite recipes, some crafting projects, an overview of all of the projects that I'm working on right now, and just some lists of important things that I need to create or be aware of in the future and stuff like that. I really love the size of this. I think it's adorable. The fact that it's a miniature of my journal, it just feels so cute and adorable and very handy. Like if I wanted to take this somewhere with me, it would be so easy to do. I really like it, and I can't wait to fill this in because I think it might end up being my most important notebook, because if it contains all of the information that I deemed important at some point in my life, it will definitely be my most important notebook. So yeah, I really can't wait to start using it more regularly alongside the journal, of course. So yeah, that is it for the small notebook. And I want to quickly get through the ideas that I have for these before I get to my final notebook, which is the new exciting project that I've been working on. And I can't wait to discuss it because it's been going so well. And also I love the notebook so much. It was a great choice to get this one. I'll explain later. So for this, I've decided that one of these I'll be turning into a CBT notebook. So I'll be starting CBT next week, that is cognitive behavioral therapy. I wanted to create a notebook just for that. I think these smaller ones are a great idea for that specific subject because I don't want to commit a whole notebook to CBT, and because it's sort of a therapy exercise, I don't want to have this information anywhere else. I think it's much better to use a small notebook. When I'm done with it, I'll just go to the next one because it's not that big anyways. But I think that this is perfect for that. So next week I'll probably create some sort of layout for the questions that I'll be answering. So I guess you could say that this is sort of a CBT journal or exercise book. I'm not sure how to call it, but I have decided that this will be for CBT. And I think both of them will be for CBT, but I think I want to start with this one because it's so much prettier. Yes, I really, really love these colors. So I'll be starting with this one, and this one will be the refill. Or if I don't end up continuing with the CBT, I'll just turn this into something else. Perhaps a project notebook or anything else really. That is it for the extra notebooks. And finally, let's go to the new project that I've been working on. Finally, I've been mentioning the whole video. So this one is a much more creative project, very different than what I've been doing so far. Still has a little bit of a cute vibe, but it's more serious, and this is more of a fantasy style, magic, all of the things that I mentioned before, adventure, magic mysteries, all of that. So this overall will be a graphic novel project. Hopefully this will turn into a graphic novel. And here is where I take notes that will help me to develop the graphic novel later on. So this is more like exploring the style, practicing drawing this kind of style, and also I do make some notes of ideas and concepts and words that are related to the story that I have in mind. So yeah, this is what I have so far, and it's like different pages. Each page is very different concept, but this is the same story, the same book. Has more of a world building vibe to it, and I'm really experimenting to see what works, what doesn't work, and just to get inspired and stay active with this project. So taking these notes really helped me to develop the story, to understand the story, and to come up with new ideas. But I think most importantly, it's my chance to practice this kind of style because, again, I'm very new to drawing and illustrating. I used to do that throughout my life, but I was never consistent with it. I was never happy with what I was creating. And this is the first time that I actually create something that I like and looks more like a final product. So I really want to explore that. So far, I think my favorite spreads are the first one and the last one. This one I really like as well, but I do not like this specific detail here. I think it was a mistake. And the shading here doesn't even make sense. But I really love the little elements here. So the whole graphic novel is about magic mysteries. So there's different plots and different stories where the detective has to figure out what is going on and solve the mystery. So I think it's going to be very exciting and fun to read, and hopefully it will be beautiful as well. I still haven't figured out the details, but so far this has been really fun to create. It's really helping me to stay motivated on this project and to keep going. For example, when I write a story, I don't like it when it's just text. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not very interesting to look at. I prefer if it has lots of illustrations and drawing and sketches, because it just makes it more interesting and gives me motivation to keep going, essentially. So So yeah, I'm really happy with this and I can't wait to see how it progresses. Hopefully I'll be filling in the whole notebook with these kinds of spreads. I'm not sure if I will start adding more color, perhaps some green I think would be appropriate to add, because I will be having a lot more nature elements to this. So yeah, I might be adding green, but I really like how simple it is with just 2 colors. And what I've been using basically is just a random fine liner, brown, and also the Pentel Touch pen, which is like a brush pen that I've been really enjoying so far. I've been using the pink one in my smaller notebook. Also really love it so far because I'm able to do the little calligraphy titles. It's just really nice bright color, and because it's a brush pen, it really helps with calligraphy. I've been using these 2 colors so far. Yeah, I might be adding more colors here, but I'm very careful with that. It's already a bit overwhelming with all of these details, especially this one. And I don't want to make it hard to read or too overwhelming to look at. So yeah, I might be adding some very small details with like a dark green later on, because I will be making more spreads with nature and some forest elements, perhaps just some green, or later on I'm thinking about getting something like a gold pen or silver, just for a few details, nothing else. And perhaps some red, like a deep red, if there's like a drop of blood or something like that. I think that would make it more interesting. So yeah, this is the project so far. I really want to hear your feedback for everything, and let me know which aesthetic do you like more. Do you like this sort of fantasy aesthetic, or do you prefer the cute little doodles that are just decorative? Let me know which style you like, or if you have a completely different style, that's also an option. But these are my 2 favorites, so I really want to explore that and really dive deep into it and see where it leads, really. But these are my personal favorites so far. I might be exploring different styles in the future, but for now, these are the 2 styles that I'm really interested in. Again, these are for different purposes. So this is like a graphic novel, and this is just my daily journal. So it makes sense that they look so different. My handwriting is the same, but yeah, I think each style has its own use. But I wanted to explore more combining these 2 and creating like a cute style of fantasy doodles and illustrations. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, that is it. These are my projects so far and how I've been using these notebooks and my week's planner. I'm very, very happy with everything. I think this style of notebooks works really well for my projects. The paper feels so special and unique, and it makes everything that I put in it a little bit more precious, let's say. That's just how it feels day to day when I fill this in. So yeah, I'm really happy with them so far, and I can't wait to create more and more spreads, to fill everything up and then order some more, because let's be honest, we're addicted. That's why we're here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and which styles you enjoy, as well as anything that you might want to see, or if you want me to talk about something more specifically. So yeah, thank you so much. See you in the next one.